Everybody, welcome into the season finale of the Matt Report, brought to you by Cobos Insurance Center. As you can see, I am in a festive mood. It is St. Patty's Day. I am wearing the shirt, a little behind the scenes, tidbit, little Easter egg for you. Last season, when we were doing, all the crazy segments, having guests on, we were wearing, the Santa hats and stuff like that. I had bought this shirt for our season finale last year. As everybody knows, we did not have that season finale because the coronavirus pandemic kind of kicked off about a year ago this time, canceled our state tournament, and we never got to shoot that show. So this has been patiently waiting in the closet for 1 year to debut. So here it is. Let the shenanigans begin. So we're here to talk about the high school state wrestling tournament. Kicked off this weekend, successful as it could be, under the circumstances. As many of you guys know, we talked about in the last couple episodes, the postseason looked a little different this year. The state tournament normally is held at the Value City Arena, all three divisions battling it out for 3 days. This year it was split among 3 sites. Division 1 was at Hilliard Darby. I was at that site physically. Division 2 was at Marengo Highland, and Division 3 was at Marion Harding. I was at those sites virtually. We were at watching all our local wrestlers through track wrestling kind of battle there as well. So, and they did also split it down to 2 days. Obviously, some tough spots about that. You lose some of that environment for the wrestlers. Also, the wrestlers don't get that feeling of surviving a day. They have to win 1 match on Thursday normally to survive to get to the next round. On Friday to keep competing. This time you had to basically land on the podium and be a state placer to get to day 2, which was Saturday, Sunday this year. So definitely an all-around kind of a strange feeling as far as the environment went. But again, the prevailing feeling down there was just through the wrestlers, the coaches, the fans, the media, we were just happy to have it. Last year we were writing, just miserable stories about disappointment and heartache. And this year we were actually getting to, watch the guys compete on the mats, see guys, end on the podium, see guys battle for state championships. So overall, that was the big, win for this postseason. So let's get to kind of the state tournaments themselves. Let's kind of start with where I was at Division 1 at Hilliard Darby. It was again 4 mats. I believe each wrestler was allowed, I believe, 2 for the first day. So there was a decent crowd in the upper areas. Coaches and wrestlers were brought to the mats. They had a big field house area where they warmed up, and they stayed in between. They had a nice screen set up so they could watch wrestling back there when they were waiting or after they had wrestled. And we had some pretty good success there. Obviously, we usually start with Elyria. Elyria had half its team down there, 7 of 14, qualified to the state tournament. We had 3 placers. Leading the way was Enrique Munguia, senior at 160 pounds. He finished as a state runner-up there at 160. Really fantastic tournament for Enrique. Very tough weight class, probably the toughest weight class in the state of Ohio, in that he and 2 other guys are actually nationally ranked. You talk about these state rankings, and he had 2 nationally ranked guys to deal with. In the semifinals, he took on Brunswick's Derek Fields. They were going into this match. They were 2-2 career against each other, with Derek winning the last 2. I saw them at the GCC final last year, and Derek won kind of convincingly. Enrique flipped the switch on that and won a dominant 8-2 match there against Derek to reach the state championship match. Just really looked fantastic in that match in every aspect. And then in the final for the second straight week in the district final, he also faced Patrick Gallagher of St. Edward, going to Ohio State, ranked number 1 in the country, and by a large gap among many of the other nationally ranked guys. He was just dominating again. There's not much Enrique could do, not much anybody can do against him. So he's going to have a very successful career, I think, for the Buckeyes. But Enrique just had a really solid weekend overall. Our other 2 state placers for Elyria were Nate Burnett, Jr. at 145 pounds. He was the state runner-up, he finished 5th place. And Jake Evans finished 5th place at 182 pounds. He's a senior. Obviously, disappointing for those 2 guys because they had expectations of state championships. Nate was ranked number 1 at 145 pounds and just had really tough semifinal. He lost 3-2, and then a tough conference semi. Lost 3-2, 2 back-to-back 1-point losses. Bounced back to win that last match. Jake Evans also had 2 tough matches, 2 close matches in his semifinal and his conference semi. So but as I talked to both those guys after their matches, they were not they were upset with their their finishes, but they weren't disappointed in themselves because they didn't leave anything on the mat. They put everything, all the effort out there, and they did their best. So overall, not a bad finish for them. Some of the other placers at the Division One tournament, Avon brought two guys down. Two guys ended on the podium. So great success for the Eagles program this weekend. Cale Saxton, senior at 132 pounds, finished sixth, basically elevating his status from 2 years ago as a sophomore. He finished eighth at 106 pounds, so basically improved his setup there. Mason Bingham, heavyweight, finished seventh. Great job for him as he qualified to state last year, did not get to go. So this was kind of his first state tournament appearance, even though he is a two-time state qualifier, and now he's a state placer going out. Just an amazing athletic career from Mason, as he was also on the football team that went to the state semifinals the last 3 years with him as a starter. So just a great wrap up to his high school career. And then moving to some of the other divisions, we had Ruben Pina Lorenzana keeps it going for Firelands. They've had Peyton Bergdorf started a trend about 4 years ago, breaking a 40-50 year drought of state placers. And now Ruben keeps it going as Peyton graduated last year. Peyton ends up on the podium at 106 pounds as a sophomore for Firelands. So just kind of keeps it going for the Firelands program. They have a couple really standout freshmen who hopefully will join him next year. They will definitely kind of keep elevating that Firelands program. So great job for Ruben Pina Lorenzana there in the Division II tournament. And then down in Division III, we actually had a couple of guys go top level, and I want to kind of break now and go to our segment because these two guys are three of the top performances, and this segment's brought to you by Century 21 Deanna Realty. We're going to start actually with Enrique Munguia. I have to go back to him as that runner-up finish, beating a nationally ranked guy in the semifinals in Derek Fields and finishing as the state runner-up at 160 pounds. Definitely one of our top three performances. You just kind of was amazed by that semifinal win. It was really fantastic. And then our other two guys are both Division III guys. Both guys were unranked going into the postseason, and both of them just had amazing postseason runs to end up as state placers. We'll start with Cole Schulke, sophomore, 106-pounder at Columbia. Basically went undefeated to the postseason, all the way to the state semifinals. Just kind of some dominating wins over top 10 ranked guys, at a couple of them at the district tournament to win the district championship. Broke a 35 a year, I think, it's quite about a little over 30, it was actually 21 year drought district champions at Columbia. Broke, I think, a 9-year drought, almost a decade drought of state placers. He finished fourth at 106 pounds. Lost the semifinal to, I think one of the top guys in the state there. But then bounced back in a tough match that was kind of notable because it was against Olivia Shore of Miami East, who became the first female wrestler to place at the boys state tournament this weekend. And she had to face Cole, and she had been dominating guys down at that 106-pound weight class. And Cole was having none of it. They built a quick lead, got a takedown and a near fall to open up a 5-0 lead in the first period. Got another takedown in the second period to go up 7-0, and ended up pinning Shore to advance to the Conci semis. He did end up losing his last couple matches to take that fourth place match, but just a fantastic match for him with still 2 years of high school to go. And again, he was unranked at 106 pounds, so really elevated his status there through the last couple of weeks of the high school season. And our last top performer is Travis Owen. He's the heavyweight at Black River. Again, unranked going into the postseason, but he was, if you watched him locally, he was kind of dominant. I don't even think he took his first loss until facing Luke Moore at the county tournament, Lorraine County League conference tournament. And then just kind of dominated his way through. His big pinning machine. I think like 95% of his wins were all pins. And ended up 8th place at 285 in Division III. And he's only a junior. Again, great job by a lot of these guys for getting on the podium before their senior year. So they really kind of go into next season with a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence. So again, our top three performers are Enrique Munguia of Elyria, Cole Schilke of Columbia, and Travis Owen of Black River. And the top three performances are brought to you by Century 21 Deanna Realty. So yeah, then that was kind of the big wrap up of the the state tournament. Overall, again, like I said, the prevailing theme was that it was definitely good to be having it. That was the positive theme that everybody shared. Um, the secondary theme, as I said on the radio show this week, was that people kind of said it didn't really have that state tournament feel. It's hard to replicate. A big 20,000 capacity arena, 10 mats, the bright lights, all that stuff. But they did a good job. We did have some bonus things that because of the environment, they did darken the gym for the state finals, put a spotlight on the match, had a little pyrotechnics. The guys got walk up music or entrance music, which was kind of cool to hear some of the things that they chose. Got a few chuckles and some kind of things like that. So there were some positives out of it, and it was a good end to the season, as best the end as you could possibly have for the situation. So everybody's kind of just knocking on wood that next season we get back to the normal setups. We have regular bracket tournaments again. Guys are able to wrestle more than 10 to 15 matches, or like some of these did. Some of them were able to get 40, 50 matches still, but we'd like to see everybody have that opportunity, and we get back to the postseason as normal and things like that. So that's going to do it for this season of the Matt Report. Again, brought to you by Cobus Insurance Center. I just want to thank everybody for, again, this wasn't the what we normally do on the Matt Report. We like to do a lot more with segments and things like that, but glad for you guys stopping in. Thank you again for Kristen behind the camera, putting this all together, making it look good. Thanks to WL for setting up the show as always. Thanks to our two sponsors, Cobus Insurance Center and Century 21 Deanna Realty, for kind of making sure we can give these kids recognition and keep the high school wrestling community and as formed as we can. And thank you again to the fans, and we'll see you next year.